Hi everybody, how are you? We're going to continue doing the essential information. Essential information is really important because it's one of the tasks or one of the styles in the reading section of the IBT TOEFL. Okay, might be made by ETS. Okay, and this section is really important because a lot of the students really don't they really don't want to break it down. Okay, so I'm going to review exactly what the procedures are to actually do this. Okay, first of all, okay, we need to do what? Break down the sentences. Okay, sentence or sentences. And the reason why is because normally they have one or two or three sentences put together by a conjunction, or we call it a transition. Okay, now these are basically what? Things like because, however, but, right? These continue two sentences put together into one. Okay, and they're going to continue doing this because of the fact that then it's kind of confusing, because of the fact that the second point is that they want you to be able to separate this and understand the sentence completely. Okay, that's how they check. Okay, so we need to break those down, separate the sentences. That's breaking down the sentences. Okay, the second thing we have to do is on your notepad or in your note-taking paper, right? What are you going to do? You're going to jot down, you're going to basically break down each sentences by its point. How do we do this? You guys all did this when you were young. Subject, right? And what it did, right? So basically we need to break it down in detail. This is really important. Okay? Now, the next thing you have to do is remember to check if there are any references. Okay? What are references? It, but, that, right? Now these are references because of the fact that in the sentence it's going to start by saying they blah 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 blah, right? The answers will show you going what? They're going to put in the actual what that it was. Okay? So if you're going to say, oh, I don't get it, teacher. Well, the thing is, in the answer in the actual sentence it didn't mention it. It did mention it. It mentioned by doing a reference called it, that, or her, or whatever, okay? Please don't forget to do that. The third thing you have to do is compare it to see if your notes match the answers. So you're comparing it, okay? Are you taking it from the actual sentence? No. What are you doing? You're taking it from your notes. You're taking your notes, and then you're going to basically change it and go, okay, does this all the information in this answer does it actually have all the information that I took the notes on? That's how you check it. Okay. Last but not least, what you have to do, remember the information cannot be added or left out. If you take a look at your notes, okay, and the answers, okay, and you read it paraphrased, okay, because ETS love paraphrasing, right? If it's paraphrased, then make sure that the information there is all correctly inside the answer. If it's not, then you're going to have a really hard time trying to figure this out. Okay? Well, let's move on. Let's check it out. Okay? First of all, here we go. We're going to read it together. Example. Here we go. Encoding information, same as systematically, also makes it more retrievable. Okay? Retrieving information can be done by recognizing or recall. Humans can easily recall memories that are stored in the long-term memory and used often. However, if a memory seems to be forgotten, it may eventually be retrieved by prompting. The more clues a person is given, such as pictures, okay, the more likely memory can be retrieved. This is why multi-choice question tests are often used for subjects that require a lot of memory. Okay, now they read this thing. Aren't they talking about type of like maybe ETS questions? Well, perhaps. The question actually follows like this way. Which of the following best provides the information, important information in the highlighted sentences from the passage? Incorrect answer choices leave out essential information or change the meaning of it. Okay? Now, we're not going to go into the actual answers yet, okay? So let's move on, okay? Let's break down, first step, break down the sentence. Boom, here we go. Okay? Humans can easily recall memories that are stored in the long-term memory and used often. Okay, great. One sentence. Transition, however, okay, if a memory seems to be forgotten is a second sentence. Comma is another one. It may eventually be retrieved by prompting. Okay, now we're going to separate it. We separated it. Okay, what do we do after we separate it? We break it down. Okay, let's break it down. Here we go. So first sentence, human can easily recall memory. We're going to say human's memory equals long-term often. Why? Then the next sentence tells you what? We understand however, right? Now however, the main point changes. What's the main point now? It's not long-term memory. Now it's what? Everyone? There you go. Forget memory, right? Equals what? How do you retrieve memory? Prompting. Now we separated it. Now you have your full notes. Okay? Now we take your note. Okay, we're going to presume your notes on your paper. This test is on the computer screen. Okay? And it's going to look like this. Boom. Okay, so up here you have the actual highlighted. This middle is actually on your paper. Okay? And this answer is on the screen again. Okay? You understand? Okay. So if that's the case, then we're going to actually look at it. Each sentence. Take a look at the sentences, everyone. Okay? Prompting is easiest way to retrieve short-term memory after an extended period of time. Okay, extended period of time is correct. Okay? Easy way to retrieve short-term memory. Did it ever say easy way? That's adding information. So boom, that's not it. Okay? Next one here. A memory can be retrieved by prompting. That is true. Okay, you have it in your notes, right? In case where it has rarely used. Rarely used or long term. That's not it. It can't be. So it's changed the information. Right? So number 2 is wrong. Or B is wrong. Let's go number C. Let's try let's go to letter C, okay? Here we go. It's easier to remember short-term memory than long-term memory due to regular prompts. Okay, result was never regular prompts, okay? It's retrieve prompting. So that's not it. It never mentioned this whole sentence. Okay? Your notes doesn't say it, does it? It doesn't. So then, the last one, okay? Is recalling a long-term memory is often used easily. So, how to retrieve your long-term memory? By prompting. While forgotten memory often require prompting. It's the same sentence. It's exactly what your notes look like. Right? So the answer, everyone, boom, here we go. Recalling the long-term memory is often used, is easy, while forgotten memory often requires prompting. Okay?